Welcome to Excel Boats on the X Podcast, powered by Mud Buddy Motors.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
The only podcast to bring you insights on the world of hunting, fishing, and boating. With your host, J. Paul Jackson.
You don't say much, do you?
Now, load up and sight in. This is On the X.
Welcome to the Excel Boats on the X Podcast, powered by Mud Buddy Motors. I'm your host, J. Paul Jackson, and today I'm joined by my special co-host, a guy that is around for most of these as their engineer, and I hope he'll be returning to do some more hosting duties with me in the future. Excel Boats on Jeffrey Whitlock. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, everybody. It's good to be here. It's good to be heard. Finally be on this instead of just listening. Now I'm finally in the spotlight. So watch out, world. Here I come.
Amen. Jeffrey's been editing, engineering this for us for some time. And today I really was glad to get him to join us, because today we've also got a super special guest to hello to you guys in the fishing community. I'm sure he's going to be well known, as are four of his buddies. Today we've got from Fishing with Flair, a YouTube channel with over 600,000 subscribers. That's freaking ridiculous. And he looks like he's like 19 too, but I know it's a little older than that. Our special guest is Andrew Flair. Hey buddy, how you doing?
Good. What's going on, guys? Glad to be here. Glad to be on the podcast. This is new for me, and I'm excited.
Yeah, we're awful glad to have you too. I tell you, for those of you guys who maybe don't know who Andrew is, Andrew has four buddies, and they call themselves the Googan Squad. And we'll get to how they came up with that name. Jeffrey, I know, he told me the other day where that came from. But if you haven't checked him out, you need to check him and his buddies out on YouTube. He's got 600,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel. It's all about fishing, a little bit about duck hunting too. I've been impressed with all the really cool stuff you've got. But what's even more impressive is collectively, you Googan Squatters have, 4 million subscribers?
Yeah, that sounds about right. About a little over 4 million, I believe. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like I started doing this six years ago, and the number one YouTuber had maybe 5,000, probably not even, maybe a couple thousand. So it's just crazy to see the community, how it's just grown and just amassed this huge following, where everybody shares the same passion of fishing and just outdoors in general. Like you mentioned earlier, duck hunting, camping. It doesn't even matter anymore. Like, it's not even about fishing. It's just like fishing is kind of the core thing, but we do pretty much anything outdoors, and everybody seems to enjoy it, and it's all relatable, and it's pretty amazing.
So what did you start with? Did you start fishing, or did you start with hunting? Where's your background?
So yeah, I started with fishing. As far as YouTube, I started fishing. I didn't upload my first hunting video until probably 2013 or 2014. So I was probably doing it a year. I was probably putting fishing videos on YouTube for probably a year or two before putting a hunting video on YouTube. And that was kind of the first time doing that. But I mean, growing up, I fished mostly. And then, by the time I was 10 or so, I started doing a little bit of hunting. My dad would take me and stuff like that. And then it just kind of grew. Definitely fishing was a primary deal, mainly because it's a year-round deal. It's kind of hard to just be in a waterfowl YouTuber when you can only shoot birds 3 months out of the year, pretty much.
No. It's duck season somewhere all the time. Remember, we do have a
true.
Southern Hemisphere.
That is true. Yeah, I have yet to experience any of that. But yeah, hopefully at some point I will. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we just ask Freddie King about that. He'll tell you about giving up duck season.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Freddie, we both go through some major withdrawals every March. But, for years, heck, I'm starting next month. I mean, I'll be here in just a few weeks. I'll be going to Canada. And, I duck hunt September through January, duck and goose. And then I keep on chasing the geese all the way, sometimes into May. So
wow,
you can do it somewhere, Andrew. It's just
just got to explore a little bit, huh?
But fishing is definitely easier. Yeah, you got to get creative, and you got to have funding. That's the problem.
It's not cheap to fly across the world to shoot birds.
No, those trips to Argentina are a little bit costly.
Yeah.
But definitely worth it. It's
cool. For sure. I'm hoping at some point I can do it. I think I'm going to venture to Canada at some point this fall, which would be my first hunt outside of the U.S. So I'm pretty stoked for that. Yeah.
Now you've been fishing in Canada before, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've been fishing in Canada. Yeah.
Do a blast and cast.
I know. It'd be pretty sweet. The fishing actually probably pretty decent up there. I think we're looking at early October or something like that, but we'll see.
Be really neat stuff. Well, I know that you've been at this for a while now. You said what, 5-6 years ago you started the channel?
Yeah, I started it. It would have been 6 years ago. Yeah, it was April of 2012.
How the hell does a guy get 600,000 followers on YouTube?
I mean, it's not.
J-Paul, no. J-Paul, you have to be a millennial. J-Paul, you got to figure out your inner millennial to understand that.
It still blows my mind because like one of the members of Googan Squad, Rob, he just passed 1 million, and John B is like in the 800,000s, maybe even 900,000 by now. So we're all kind of working our way up there. But I've personally uploaded like 850 plus videos, so it's been a lot of uploads. It's been 2 to 3 videos a week for the last 6 years straight. I haven't missed a week of a single upload. Since I was a freshman in high school all the way until now. So for me, it's been consistency. For others, it's been other things like viral videos, and there's a lot of different factors that go into growing a huge following on YouTube. But for me, I think it was just consistency and just doing it all day, every day, and just putting in the work. And that was pretty much it.
Well,
so Andrew, when you do you cut all your video, or do you have somebody cutting that video for you?
Yeah. So up until a month ago, I did it all by myself, 100%. And then a month ago, one of my buddies, John, he started to help me out with editing and a little bit of filming. So that way I can go fishing more and not have to worry about doing all the edits. I still edit some videos, but right now it's probably like a 50-50 split
Sure.
as of a month ago. But up until that point, for the first 840 videos, that was just all me. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Where did you learn to edit? Is that something you just taught yourself, or do you do classes?
Just self-taught on YouTube. Just
oh my gosh, that's
looked
awesome.
up on YouTube how to edit a YouTube video, and back then there was really not much.
Yeah.
Now you can learn how to edit a movie on YouTube if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
But it was just a lot of just putting in the time, just putting in. When I would edit videos back in 2012 and 13, and if I try to make it good, you're talking like 3 days to edit. Versus now, I don't edit for more than 2 hours on a video.
Right.
I'm pretty quick with it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's about an hour and a half usually is what I can get a normal video done. So and that just obviously depends on the software and the computer. Right now, the computer I'm using is way faster than the Windows desktop 3000, whatever I had earlier. It looked like a dinosaur. So it all kind of went with the times and whatnot. But yeah, just self-taught on YouTube and just kind of went with it. Yeah.
So look, I've got a question for you about editing. I was in TV for several years, and most of my guys always preferred Apple for editing. Are you Windows or are you iOS?
Nope. Yep. I use a Mac. I use a Final Cut Pro for the editing software. So a lot of within the group of people that I work with, most people are Premiere Pro users. They use Premiere to edit.
Yeah, dope.
For me, it looks just way too complicated, and I kind of taught myself. Once I got really into it, I taught myself iMovie, which is basically just like the dumbed down version of Final Cut. And so I already kind of knew it. I kind of knew how it all worked. And so Final Cut came fairly easy. And then I've just done Final Cut for the last 3+ years. So thinking about switching absolutely I just couldn't even fathom. So I don't even mess with it. I know Premiere, you can do a lot more things on it, but Final Cut's enough for me. Definitely. I'm not over here filming movies. So Final Cut will do the job.
Awesome.
Well, obviously for you, I know consistency is a big deal and a big factor in there, but it's a combination, I think, of consistency and quality. You're doing a really good job because let me tell you, I don't want to, but I'm pretty sure that you can't get 600,000 followers by you being in a bikini and you're so like some other folks.
Personally, no, I don't think so. I don't think that would go over all that great.
Yeah.
No.
So obviously you've done it with a combination of consistency and quality. And I love watching your videos. But what I thought was really interesting, we were having a marketing meeting last Wednesday, a teleconference. I'm going to tell off on my buddy Jeffrey here, and we were talking about him. He said, look, I could watch every one of, I haven't been through all 800, but you could just binge watch them because they are so entertaining. And And so that night, Jeffrey, I spent about 2 hours with my iPad watching.
I told you.
And you're right, man. I mean, I was watching you catch fish in those drains.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
And
crazy.
the baits, like the comparison videos, those are always my favorite.
Yeah.
But I seriously fanboy out. I mean, I just like the minute they pop up, I'm like, well, everybody shut up. I got to watch my new video. It's online. I love
awesome. Appreciate that, guys. That's awesome.
I mean, how? Because like, what kid? And I'm sure there are some, but not me, and nobody I know like grows up watching
YouTube.
Fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I grew up watching fishing.
Well, that's because you're, you.
Because I'm a redneck from Tennessee. That's what you wanted to say.
You know, Tennessee, I guess. I don't know. But because it's not that interesting, you would think. But I mean, the way you guys do it is just, it's always fun. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, we've kind of evolved. I remember like back in when I started, like it was weird. Like now every single video I do is a vlog where you're talking and well, back then vlogs wasn't even a thing. Okay, it wasn't a thing to face the camera towards you and talk about it. That wasn't how you did it. And like GoPros weren't a thing. Like it's really hard for people to understand like how videos were when I started. Like chest mount GoPros weren't a thing. So you're thinking, how do you film you fishing? And there was for a while I used so it was like kind of like what was it, Kodak Play Sport? Like I don't know what it looked like.
I know exactly the camera you're talking about.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It had, for a tripod, it has like a screw, right? Like you can screw it onto a tripod. So I found out what type of bolt it was and put it through my hat and then put a nut on top. So then I screwed it to my hat. And so then I had a camera that was like way up here and I would just walk around. And that's what I did before. That was like pre-GoPro days, was just like hitting record and then just walking around and talking and fishing. And so like it's kind of now evolved to like there's like a whole guide to be a fishing YouTuber. You get your chest mount GoPro, you get a vlog camera, and you're pretty much good to go. Like it's so simplified now, and anybody can do it. But back then it was like, remember John B, I went to his house before all the GoPro stuff, and he had like a digital camera on basically a piece of yarn, and he just put it here and then ran the piece of yarn around, basically made the harness of a chest mount like it is now out of string, and had just a big DSLR on his chest. And that's how we filmed YouTube videos back in the day. Like it's totally evolved to just way simplified compared to what it used to be. But yeah, it's just nuts.
That is nuts.
That is crazy.
So did you ever imagine starting way back then that it would ever be like, that you'd ever be the celebrity that you are today?
No, absolutely not. I mean, since day one, the goal was just to make fishing videos. And then as I gained just a little bit of popularity, talking like 100 views or 200, was getting sponsors, because at the time I had no money. I'm 15 years old. I worked part-time at Shields when I was 16 as a cashier. So and of course I wanted to be a pro fisherman. I wanted to be Kevin Van Dam. I wanted to be Ike and Ellie and, Skeet Reese and all those dudes. I wanted to be like them. And of course it takes a ton of money to fish tournaments. So you can only work so many hours as a cashier while going to high school. It's like, you can't really make that much money. So the idea of getting discounts on lures or even free lures blew my mind back in the day. 15-year-old me would have gone nuts for a free topwater frog. I would have, even if I had to make an entire video on it, I would have done it. That's kind of how it was. And so that was my drive, was uploading as many videos as I could and gaining as much popularity and traction as I could. Because in turn, I could see myself getting free lures. And that was the drive behind it, was just so I could go fishing. I could not have to go to work because I'm saving money on, the lures and then go fishing. So that was kind of the whole deal. And so that's it. No, I mean, I didn't see it going into this. But I saw the growth into potentially, again, getting free stuff so I could go fish more. Was almost like getting paid fishing, which that concept blew my mind at the time. If anyone would have said you can get paid to go fishing, it was just like that would have been a dream come true. So, and I mean, fortunate enough, it kind of somewhat turned into that, to where I get to go fishing for a living. So it's awesome.
So you used to work at Shields in Omaha. I'm presuming that the location out there on Dodge Road.
Yep. That's where I used to work. I was a cashier. I
wonder if you ever waited on me. I used to travel to Omaha all the time.
You might have. Yeah. I worked for 2 years as a cashier, and then about 6 months in the fishing department. And then I quit and then just did the YouTube thing full time. So
now you're making a living off of being a YouTube celebrity.
Yep.
And you really are a celebrity. I mean, guys, for those of you guys listen, I was at ICAST and stopped by to see this guy and the rest of the Googan Squad. And it was pretty damn impressive, the number of people that you had coming in wanting selfies with you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nobody wants an autograph anymore from anybody. It's always getting a selfie. And, you know, I walked around a lot with a couple of other guys that are well known in the fishing world. And I mean, you guys had at times more attention than anybody else that I saw. There were constantly people parading through the Googan booth, Googan Baits, which we'll talk about your bait company here in just a second. But it was pretty impressive, the number of people. I mean, getting to talk to you was tough a couple of times.
Yeah, I know. It was just chaos. That was the first that was my third iCast in total. I didn't go last year, but I went the 2 years prior. And that was like the first iCast where it all clicked. Like before then it's like me, you know, going up to booths, hey, I make YouTube videos, and they're like, meh. Like, but because YouTube wasn't really like a thing back then. Everybody was just like, you YouTubing kids, yada yada. But this was the first year where it all clicked, where it was like, okay, you know, what I'm doing is on the right track. You know, it's starting to gain traction. People are starting to, you know, really take it as like a legitimate way of either marketing, advertising, stuff like that. So it was pretty cool to see all that. And then of course, like all the people that came by and said hello, took selfies and all that stuff was just absolutely amazing. Like anytime that we do a meet and greet, or if I'm just at Shields or Walmart walking around buying groceries, someone stops me, like it still blows my mind that it's just fishing videos. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's just crazy. Yeah. It's nuts.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It's got to be rewarding.
It's really impressive. I mean, it's impressive. There's no other word for it. That's impressive.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. It kind of, I mean, even I know people are like, there's nothing to complain about. You make fishing videos for a living. But like, I mean, obviously things get tough in certain situations, but it's like, whenever a little kid comes up and is like, hey, you know, like, I mean, like there's I've had hundreds of stories, but like just a generic example would be like, you know, kids come up to me and say like, you know, they don't have a dad or their dad doesn't fish, and I taught them how to fish. And like that little story there, like is what makes it all worth it to me, is giving somebody an opportunity to like do what I love, like participate in my passion. And there's no other way they would have other than through YouTube videos, because they don't have a grandpa, they don't have a dad that likes to fish or any of that stuff. So like, that's what makes me want to do what I do. I mean, cool getting, you know, free stuff here and there and all the other things, but like, that's really what makes it for me. Cause it's really just kind of preparing the next generation for fishing, because let's face it, TV's pretty much over. I mean, not over, but it's on the way down. I mean, everybody knows it. I still watch TV, but it isn't what it used to be. Nope. And so preserving the sport is tough. I mean, no one reads magazines and stuff like that. So YouTube has kind of now taken the reins as far as getting the next generation out and fishing and teaching them. And I've just been blessed to be kind of a part of the whole thing. Me and I mean, there's dozens of people that have contributed to it. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I think you hit it that perfectly. That's exactly right.
Yep.
Wow. Well, let's talk a little bit. You are making a living now out of being a YouTube sensation. And you know, I don't even think that's fair to you, because this has legs. I mean, you guys have worked very hard at it. And as you said, you know, there are a lot of people that don't even watch TV anymore, and a whole generation. So that really is almost disrespectful to call you a sensation, because those tend to not last. And you guys, you know, I could see a lot of longevity, but now it appears that you've moved it to another level, Googan Baits. So when did you all decide that, hey, we want to do our own bait company? How'd that come about?
This would have been, let me think about this. This would probably been about 18 months ago. So the Googan Squad formed in sort of been 2007. It would have been February of 2017. The Googan Squad got their house. So the Googan Squad was kind of a thing about 2 years ago. So it would have been, the fall of 2016. We kind of all got together. We all kind of met. Like, I think, let's see, it would have been August. So now would have been the first time we all got together, all the entire Googan Squad. So August 2 years ago. And then this has never been done before. There's never been a group of fishermen. There's never been a group of YouTubers that do outdoor things. This was kind of been done in the gaming industry. And we're good friends with Hector Rodriguez, who started Optic Gaming. So I don't know if you're familiar at all with how like the Call of Duty esports team works, but like Optic's the biggest one, and the owner of that organization is one of our friends. And so we kind of looked at his business model of, you know, having a group of, it was a group of YouTubers that played Call of Duty and brought them in as a team and then put them competing against other teams. And so we kind of thought about that business model. And honestly, I said no. I said, it's not going to work. I said, it's not going to work because if we have a house in the same area, everybody's going to get tired of the videos because they want variety. So if we're all sitting in Texas and we're all filming together all day, every day, and we're all posting on our own channels, you're going to see the same video five times every day. And so I honestly said, no, I don't want to do the Googan Squad, it's crazy to think about that now. And luckily some of the other guys kind of were like, you know, just think about it. In which today, like, that's not how we do it. We don't all film together all day, every day and post on our own channel. So the idea of the Googan Squad was good. It was just the filming and everything about that was kind of difficult. So now what we do is we all get together for 1 week a month and film group videos, and that goes on the Googan Squad channel. So that way people aren't seeing the same video on each of our channels. And that's kind of how we've just kind of groomed this whole thing to work. But yeah, anyway, so through the fall, and then we got the Googan Squad house in February. Then it would probably been maybe May of, you know, so we were in the house for maybe a few months and we kind of thought about it. And to be completely honest, the reason why, I wouldn't say the reason why, a big motivator and kind of why we like pulled the trigger was because the industry, I wouldn't say they wouldn't listen to us, but kind of like they just didn't take us serious. They were just kind of like, nah, you know, you YouTube with kids, you know, you're up to no good, trespassing on golf course ponds, you pesky little, you know, that type of deal. And so we're over here like trying to prove our validity and just begging for brands to give us a chance, and just no one really gave us a break. And so we're like, why don't we just do this ourselves? Because I mean, it's everyone's dream to design their own baits. I mean, we didn't want to just work with a bait company. We wanted to work with them and then design our own line of baits. But nobody would give us the time of day. And so we just decided, let's just try to do it on our own. Let's just, you know, try to get the connections, try to get X, Y, and Z kind of laid in place. Let's all sit down. Let's design these baits. We each picked one. Like I did the trench hog, for example. It's just a bait that I kind of thought I would want to make someday. And then everybody kind of picked a bait. And then we just kind of went from there, picked colors, picked names. And then 18 months later, here we are selling them online and whatnot. So it's pretty crazy how it all just kind of came together like that.
And you're sold out right now, correct?
Yeah, nobody can get them. We were supposed to have them in, I think, on like the 28th of July, and they were gone before they even hit the floor. I mean, I think we're doing like spring. Yeah, we're doing spring of, I think we're guaranteed. There's some people that are going to get them, but like around Black Friday, I believe that we're going to have some more come in. But right now it's like taking orders for May next year. Like it's absolutely unreal. We can't keep up. We're like, we didn't expect this. So we didn't, you know, have everything in place for this. And so now we're kind of like backtracking, like, okay, how can we figure this out? So right now it's just like putting out fires constantly, but it's all good stuff. Yeah, it's great.
It's a good problem to have.
That's right.
Yeah, Jeffrey, you just said you've been waiting on yours for a little while now.
Yes, I was so excited. He had me convinced on the Bandito bug.
Yes.
Just had me convinced. So I went out and I bought a few others, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm never gonna get that. That'll be a fun treat next year.
Yeah, next year, next spring, you can throw them probably. But
now you said that if I gave you my address, you might have a few samples you could send me the other
I can send both of you guys. I can send some to you. I've got a few packs laying around that I can spare. So
I was going to offer to share with Jeffrey, but now I don't have to. You can just send.
Yeah, no, I got a couple packs. I'm not gonna keep them all. But
good deal. Yeah. Well, let's talk boats for a man, and I'm proud for you too. I think that is, you talk about a great American success story for 5 young entrepreneurs, and you know, and of course, is it John B. that's also a veteran? That's
Rob.
Rob, I mean,
Flunkers TV. Flunkers TV was he was in the Army.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Rob's a former Army guy. I think that's awesome that you guys are doing so well and being so successful. You know, originally we got together because our owner, Glenn Foreman, he's a big fan as well and watches all of your stuff. And he knew that you were duck hunting and wanted to get you into a hunting boat. But, you know, you're also out there using it for fishing. And one of the things that we're working on, Andrew, actually for us as a company, this has come at an extraordinarily good time, because one of the things that we've been wanting to work on over the last several months, particularly with Bill, our plant manager over Mud Buddy, it's educating the public to the fact that our Mud Buddy motors that complement our Excel duck boats, they're not just for hunting. I mean, they're great for getting into some of the backcountry fishing spots that an outboard can't get you to. And you really like that and saw that immediately when y'all started talking about a boat.
Yeah. I haven't even got a hunt out of the thing yet, and I use it all the time. I'm always ripping around. I took it up to South Dakota, and we're fishing on big lakes with it, and we're hitting rollers and just going, and everyone was looking at me like I was absolutely nuts because I'm throwing a huge, tail of water and everything. But I mean, it was great. We caught fish. I mean, I've got some land down in Iowa, and it's like 2,000 acres of corn and beans, and then there's some like water sloughs that have never had a boat in them because because it's literally just an old riverbed that got flooded, and they've never been able to take a boat. So that's what I did. I think it was last month. I threw it in there. He took a skid loader and put a little dirt path out there and dumped that sucker in there, and we were ripping around the whole thing. And the owner of the land was just like, he was blown away because he's never even seen parts of his own land because he's never been able to boat in there. So it was just like, it was nuts to see like it go from one extreme to another, from inches of water and scum and slime and just ripping through without problem, and then going to one like big glacier lakes up in South Dakota and catching smallmouth bass out of it. It was like two polar opposites, and it was incredible. I loved it. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome. Why the Squeaker Seeker?
Why this? So
what's that about?
So the Squeaker Seeker. So when I got the boat, I made like a tour video and then took it bass fishing. So I always have my subscribers name things for me. They have a great time doing it, and then I usually give something away. So like if they comment a name and I select it, I'll give them like a frog and rod, or I'll give them some baits or something, just to like kind of keep it interactive, keep it fun, keep people have an opportunity to win some things, and as well as help me come up with names. So one of them was Squeaker Seeker, and I just thought it was funny because actually it's the boat that I'm in now, the John boat, the old one that I restored, is called the 10 pounder, and it's a joke because there's a joke about catching Peric, one of the guys in the group. He had like a 6-pound bass come off at the boat, and he slammed his rod down and said it was a 10 pounder. So there's always been this joke about a fish being 10 pounds. So we called it the 10 pounder, was when somebody commented. And then the Squeaker Seeker just came from another fan, because for me, I have a reputation not backed by proof, but just for simple like fun of catching small fish. And so I mean, I play with it too. I think it's funny. Whenever I catch small fish, I always make a joke. So people call it the Squeaker Seeker because I'm always chasing after the small fish. So that's kind of where that all came from. I didn't come up with it, but one of the subscribers did, and they commented it. So that's where it came from. Yep.
You just opened the door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're so. I got a buddy that I fish with some, and I don't get to get on the water for fun nearly as often as a lot of people think. A lot of times I'm doing stuff to capture. Which, I mean, for you, fishing is work too, but it's still
it is, yeah. Oh, it's better than anything else. Like I always say that, I'm like, do you ever get tired of fishing? I'm like, absolutely, I get tired of fishing, but I'd rather be doing that than anything else. So it's like it doesn't matter how much fun something is. You're always going to get tired of it. You're always going to be like, oh, I don't want to fish today. I just want to like relax. But then I sit there and think about other things I could be doing, like go fishing. Like it's, and then once I'm out there, it's fine. But I mean, you do something every day. Same thing with duck season. Like right now, I'm like, I don't even want to pick up a rod. All I want to do is go shoot birds. But I can tell you right now, you give me this call come January, February, I'm going to be like, I don't want to see a shotgun. I don't want to see a bird. I don't want to hear a goose. I want a fishing rod. And it's good because it cycles through. Like I'm super stoked for fishing in the spring, and then I'm super stoked for duck hunting in the fall. And it pans out to where I'm not like super bored of one thing or another. So to me, being a duck hunter and a bass fisherman is like the ultimate like lifestyle. And like obviously I go for other species too, but it's just
and that's my life, baby.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. Thank you, Glenn Foreman. And what I was about to say though, and I'm not gonna throw my buddy under the bus. So anyway, I don't get to fish for fun a lot, but I've been doing more of it lately. And yesterday afternoon, I went to a lake with a buddy just for a couple hours for fun. And I didn't even have a phone in the boat or a camera or anything, so we wouldn't be tempted to, try to create anything. But I've been this buddy of mine. He's a little bit younger than me and a little bit older than Jeffrey, which means a lot older than you. And He's older than you, Jeffrey, a little younger than me and older than Jeffrey, which means a lot older than Andrew. You're just a little older than Andrew, right? I mean, you're 29, right, Jeffrey? 28?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
anyway,
Yes.
I've been telling and this guy's in the fishing industry. As a matter of fact, he's probably going to carry Googan baits at some point. I'll tell you more about that some other time. But so I've been telling him about you. And he has started watching you. So we go out yesterday and we stop on the way out to this lake because it's full of shellcracker and bluegill and brim. And we were going to mainly go bass fishing, but I wanted to see if I could get on some big shellcracker beds. So I grabbed some redworms and we were drop shotting. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, I've caught a few drop shot fish.
Okay, good deal. Well, I hadn't seen it on your videos. I wasn't trying to insult you. I figured you.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Way. I mean,
no, I only do it a little bit. Yeah.
On a Barbie ride. So we're drop shotting with redworms.
Okay.
And literally on every cast for the first, we call it 50 to 80 fish in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But they were all this big. And for those of you that don't have video, I'm talking like 3-4 inch bluegill. Every now and then we get into a big one. But after about the first 20, he turned to me and he said, "Damn it, boy, put me on some fish of some size. This ain't fishing with Flair."
That's funny. That is funny.
And I said, "Oh man, he catches big fish." And he said, "Oh no, I know." He said, "Man, I'm loving those videos by Andrew. They're great." He said, "I've just noticed that in the comments and stuff, his fans pick on him for the little ones, And, and you mentioned that just then. I thought that was so ironic that just yesterday.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It's funny. Yeah. Just known as the small fish catcher. That's me.
Well, and listen, when you come, I will take you to this lake because it's great, and we'll catch stuff other than dinks as well. But and I know you've got to go. I promised we wouldn't keep you past 7 this evening, but I'm really excited, and I know Jeffrey is too because he's planning on making the trip. We've been thrilled with the response you've gotten out of that F4 and that Mud Buddy, and I'm very pleased that we have in production for you now a Bay Pro 203, just like the one that I run. We'll talk colors.
It's going to be a sweet boat. Sweet boat.
Real sweet boat.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk colors. We're going to paint it whatever you want. And I think we're going to put a Suzuki 140, like the one that I run on my boat, on it, get you all set up, Diamond City trailers. But, I know.
See, and Andrew, I'm already thinking up names so that I win. I win your stuff.
Yeah,
if I name, I'll actually get some of the stuff.
There you go.
That's my plan.
Perfect.
See, I got it.
Yeah, I can't wait to put you in that boat. And, I'm trying to get some dates, but we're going to do our best to get out on the water together in September. I think Jeffrey's said that he's going to fly out for that, if at all possible. My buddy's in Mobile Bay. Did you get that video I sent you?
Oh yeah, that was nuts. Absolutely incredible.
Did you see what
I know what you're talking about. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I didn't know that was like a thing. All the fish jumping and it's just nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. I figured you would love that. I mean, that's right up your alley. You need to think about what you can bring down for the trip that we can throw out there. The strain.
Oh, I can come up with something. Yeah. I got plenty of ideas. Yeah.
I guarantee. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll let everybody know. We'll do another podcast also.
Cool.
Hopefully, I know you're going to China in about a week.
Yep. Yeah. That'll be exciting. Yeah. And then teal season. And I'll be like, teal season, it's going to be, it'll be nuts. We're going to chase the birds and just go crazy. That's how it always is. September 1st, opening day, it's absolutely nuts. So, well, I'm looking forward to it though. It'll be nice. I figured out how we're going to make it happen too. We're going to do it sometime in teal season. And we are going to get you on a teal hunt while you're down here. I figured there's no way you can say I'm too busy or I'm not getting it. And we smoke the teal. So really? Okay. All right. I'm down with that. That'd be great.
I'll send you some pictures. So we're going to get you down in Mobile Bay. I've also made arrangements with my buddy to get you on Pickwick, some of those big smallies for a day.
Oh yeah. All right. That sounds good.
You think you can get AP to come along?
Get AP, let's see, September, maybe. I'll have to ask him. I think he was planning on going he might be going to Alaska or something in September, but I'll ask him. I'll ask him and see what his September schedule looks like, and we'll try to line something.
Well, listen, invite whoever you want. Any of the other 4 guys that you'd like to bring along with you.
Yeah, I'll talk to him. I'll see what they want to do. Definitely.
We've discussed it. We want to take care of you guys, get you guys to come down, do a little fishing, and check out your new boat. And, you know, and if I need to, I'll bring it up to you in advance. And but we're going to get you in that fishing boat as well. And
cool, man,
really excited to have you as part of our pro staff.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's great so far. Yeah, like everything we've talked about with this, the F4, everything I've been able to do with that, and then the bay. I've never had a bay boat in my entire life, so it's going to be just an absolute just ball. Just doing. I don't know. It's going to be hilarious. I think it'll be funny because I'm going to be putting it on lakes where bay boats don't go, and I'm just going to go fishing with it and just roll, and it'll be awesome.
Well, it's going to be sick, no doubt about it. We're going to have a big time with that, with you, my buddy. And before we go, you know, you hadn't been on here before, and you probably never listened to the On Next podcast, but we do a lot of duck hunting on here, and we talk a lot of duck hunting. Hadn't had a real heavy, big time duck hunter on in a while, except maybe Jeff Dodd, recently, one of the catfish guys. So here's my question for you that's kind of SOP for us here. If you're in the boat with me and we're hunting, and I sneak over to try to steal a snack out of your blind bag, what am I going to find?
Oh, wow. That's a sheesh.
There's got to be a go-to you stuff in there every morning.
Probably a honey bun. You're probably going to find yourself a honey bun. Usually in the morning, if I'm going out and I don't have time to cook breakfast beforehand, or we're not cooking breakfast in the blind, I'll throw a honey bun in there, and that's probably what you're going to end up finding. Yeah.
So if we want to be
honey buns.
We love them in the blind. By the way, if we're cooking breakfast in the blind, we frequently do pan-fried honey buns. Have you ever tried that?
Ooh, I have not. Is it good?
Oh my gosh. All right. So I got to get you on a hunt also in Utah with my buddies from Camp Chef, and Jeffrey will join in on that, Ryan, Neely. Yeah, man, you take a Camp Chef stove that has the cooktop. And you get one of their cast iron skillets. And what you do is you want to get 3 or 4. The Hostess honey buns are great with that thick white frosting.
Got it. Yep.
And about half a stick of butter and melt it in that iron skillet.
Oh, man, that's a heart attack. That's great.
No, you can listen. You can eat some of that stuff, and you will feel your arteries hardening with every bite. But dude, you talk about something that'll fill you up and keep you going for the rest of the day.
All right.
We're going to introduce you. It's a Southern delicacy, deep fried honey or pan-fried honey buns.
Really? Okay. All right. I'll be looking forward to it then.
All right. And Jeffrey, since this is the first time we've had you on actually talking with us and stuff too, I've never asked you, what am I going to find in your blind bag?
Oh, you'll always find beef jerky for sure. I'm a big beef jerky fan. Original, of course, not too peppery. Just original. And then probably, you know, like just a trail mix, like a Costco trail mix. I always got a big old bag of that somewhere.
So if we get you both in the blind together, we're going to have sweet and salty.
Exactly.
Perfect.
It's going to work out perfect.
That's great.
And I always have fried honey buns, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh, they're awesome, dude. They're awesome. And I've usually got a 6-pack of Mountain Dews, so you can get your sugar and your caffeine and your salt all in one.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, we will live to the ripe old age of 31.
Yeah.
Jeez, I just wish I could go back there. What are you talking about? All right, guys. Well, listen, man, Andrew, it's been great having you. Can't wait to talk with you and the other guys of the Googan Squad and actually get you on the water. And for those of you guys out there listening, on behalf of my co-host, Jeffrey Whitlock, and our guest, Andrew Flair, we want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this edition of the Excel Boats on the X podcast, powered by Mud Buddy Boats.